We are back live at Daytona International Speedway. Boris Said continues to lead the opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship, but he has a mandatory pit stop coming before he hands over to Sean Hendricks. Pit action. Let's get down to Bill Weber.
And the number 2 Firebird is on pit road, and now we've got a car pulling off the front stretch, a car smoking, pulling off the front stretch onto the grass, trying to get out of the way and avoid bringing out the caution. But they're being held by the NASCAR, or by the IMSA official right now. And the 47 Zippo Mustang sitting in the grass in the tri-oval here at Daytona, looking to get the driver out. Meanwhile, the number 2 car, which was fifth, has Doug Goen in it, and it's pulled away. Back up top to you guys.
That car number 47 is shared by John Kohler and Gary Smith out of Bradford, Pennsylvania in the Grand Sports class.
Yeah, and Gary has already all the matches and lights that he needs from Zippo. He didn't need to light that one up.
Steam, perhaps. Must be fitting on the cooling system.
Yeah, they had some problems. They had lost several laps, and he had just gotten back out. So obviously, whatever they had tried to fix, it did not work. And Gary, they're going to have to wait till next time out.
Let's get to Bill Weber.
And Gary Smith has climbed from the car. You're okay?
Oh, yeah, fine. Just
what happened?
Blew up the motor there. Started running pretty rough. Came in, changed drivers, see if we could make some adjustments with the wire and see if it would make a difference. It went one lap and blew up. It was bottom end came out of the motor, it looks like.
You got it out of the way, too.
Yeah, well, I was worried about spraying oil all over the thing there. I didn't know whether to go up high, stay out of the way. I could see I could come down low and no problem, so got it off the track. I didn't really want to mess up their grass here, but it was better than parking it in the middle of the surface.
Okay, Gary Smith, he's okay.
And Gary did a nice job, because I was looking down there, and all the oil is off way down below the race line.
So there's the end of that effort. Here's a look at our class leaders. Boris Said, who still has to make his driver change. Mark Lawrence continues to lead in the sports class.
Steve Nowicki down in the touring class. That's a change there with the number 49. But Joe Nonamaker still in the touring division. I should say Nowicki in the compact division. That's a change. Nonamaker holding station in first place in touring.
Steve Nowicki is a former top SportsCar Club of America shoe in the Pro Rally.
Looking for the 70 now of Nick Ham. These two have yet to make their pit stop. And oh man, Boris is killing these guys.
We've got another smoker on the racetrack across the start-finish line.
That's the 75, and that is Hugh Johnson. That's a Nissan 300ZX.
And Adelson and Peter Tonelli.
I don't think he's enjoying the ride right now.
Man, smoke everywhere. Daytona International Speedway enveloped in a haze with car breakage. You can see the numbers on Johnson. We'll take a quick break and return for more live action from Daytona International Speedway. We've got a long way to go in this one. There could be drama waiting. Stay with us. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. That is the second place car of Nick Ham. We expect his pit stop and mandatory driver change to be coming up very shortly.
Yeah, we saw him wiggle during the break as if maybe he was running out of fuel or possibly a fuel pickup problem. We'll see what happens if he has to do the same thing on the banking here in NASCAR 3.
We'll be handing off to Sylvain Tremblay.
So far, so good. No wiggle this time to try and get the fuel to slosh around in that tank. If he's going to pit, here he comes. And those guys are ready for him.
And it is quiet in pit lane, so Nick Ham and Sylvain Tremblay will have the advantage of not much traffic out there.
And it looked like Jason Priestley lost his hood just in the front straightaway as they're coming into pit lane. Look out. It is Priestley's hood that has flown off, and there is debris all over the straight. And watch out, that might be enough to bring out a yellow.
That hood has been hit by another car and shattered as you watch Nick Ham bring his Mazda to a stop. There's Jason Priestley. You see that the hood is gone. There's something flapping around in the engine compartment. That hood landed just short of the tri-oval. Let's get down to Bill Weber.
And the number 70 Mazda really pushed it. They said their fuel window was 58 to a maximum hour and 3 minutes. They are on pit road now. They will be able to go the rest of the way if they can get all that fuel in. Nick Ham is a former series champ. He's climbed out. Tremblay now sits in the Mazda. It takes forever to fuel these cars. These are gravity-fed fueling systems. It's the exact same nozzle you would use when you went to your local filling station. So it takes a long, long time to get this fuel in. Then you have to be exceptionally careful to make sure under these circumstances you get all the fuel in. Remember, this car does have a fuel problem as far as making the distance. They feel very comfortable with it now. They're holding Tremblay here on pit road for just that purpose. They did not change tires, something you don't often see. A lot of times these tires in this series can go the distance because they're shaved to a racing depth. Now the yellow is out. The yellow is out, and this will really help and hurt some drivers. The yellow is for Priestley because he is the guy that lost the hood. Tremblay's away. Back up to you, Bob.
Well, what a break it'll be for the race leaders, Boris Said and Sean Hendricks.
Now expect Boris to duck for the pits as soon as he possibly can, because they could probably make the change, because the pace car will not pick him up until they go back out on the NASCAR 1. So if he is coming around, I'm trying to pick up where he is on the racetrack. Now there's Priestley. He should be coming for the pits also, because they can get in and get out before they pick up the race leader, and this could be a big, big benefit.
Well, we'll take a quick break and be back to watch the drama unfold. Pit stops coming under yellow at Daytona International Speedway. Welcome back live to Daytona International Speedway. You see repairs going on in the car of Jason Priestley. Look at the dent in the hood that was created when the engine bonnet or engine cover got up into the slipstream and smashed back onto the roof of the car, breaking the windshield wipers, shattering the windshield. Large cracks across Andy Pilgrim's field of view.
What a great break, though, for this team. They were able to pit under yellow.
Andy Pilgrim begins to bring the car back on the track, down to Bill Weber.
And we welcome all of you watching on ESPN News to our ESPN2 coverage of the Daytona USA 2-hour event here. Jason Priestley's just climbed from your car after a unusual experience. You lost the hood. Heavy damage to the windshield and the roof of the car.
Yeah, I lost the hood. I was having to draft a lot of guys. I lost fifth gear about 45 minutes in. It just turned to mush, so I only had fourth gear, so I was drafting off everyone I could, and I guess I caught a funny updraft, and it just lifted the hood right off. Obviously,
Andy Pilgrim has told us about how your car has been, how your driving has been improving in that car.
Yeah, I've come a long way, since the beginning of last year, and I was really excited about getting into the race today, coming back here to Daytona. I finished second here in the last race of last year, and I was doing really well, and then fifth gear let go, but I was able to maintain my position, which was good. And, the hood, I think we can buy another one.
Okay, that's Jason Priestley, Dion Beekes.
Couldn't be a better way to welcome our friends from ESPN News, but to show them the leader's pit stop. That's because Boris Said here in the Mustang Cobra R, number 20, has just climbed from his car, and they are doing the fueling. Sean Hendricks has got in, but as we have seen from some of the previous stops here, the fuel takes a very long time. Let's go ahead and walk forward and try and get a word with Boris. Boris, what a great run that was. Man, you were just flying out there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The Duraglass Sport Mustang was really running good out there. So, it's just a blast, these races. A lot of traffic, just a lot of fun. Team Steeder's doing a really good job. Car's really fast, so hopefully Ford will beat these Pontiacs and Mazdas today.
Now, you got caught behind the pace car. Did you have an opportunity to get here earlier, or did they catch you before you got here?
They caught me before. The yellow came out about 5 seconds after I went by pit in, so that was unfortunate. But I think the car's running real good, and I think we have a good chance to win.
How many positions do you think you'll lose because of the fact you got caught so quickly?
Well, everyone's got a pit, so I don't think it'll be too bad.
Okay, a confident Boris Said. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
Well, John Heinrichsey has now climbed in for Stu Hainer in the number 32 American Motorsports Pontiac Firebird. They changed rear tires and filled it with fuel, and they've gone back out onto the track, and we'll see if we can walk up here and get a word with Stu Hainer, who just climbed out of that car. Obviously, an unusual situation for you. You're usually the fast guy, but you're chasing some very fast cars.
Yeah, we're really handling great. The car's wonderful in the braking, wonderful in the corners, but this guy's got a lot more talent than we do. They go down the straightaway about 10 or 15 miles an hour faster, so we're going to have to learn how to do that. But I think the car's going to be fine. I think as long as John keep up the pace, I think it looks like we're getting a little better fuel mileage than other people. I still have good hopes.
Okay, that's Stu Hayner. He and his teammate won here a year ago. Lots of action here. Continues on ESPN2. For your ESPN News viewers, let's go back to the studio.
All right, thank you, Bill. Still under caution. We'll take a quick break and hope to get things cleaned up and a green flag as we continue with Daytona, USA, 2 hours, opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship. Daytona International Speedway there, car number 4. Rob Walton was behind the lead. He is making his mandatory, behind the wheel that is, was in the lead, making his mandatory pit stop. Looks like they're taking a long look at that car. And they will give up that lead. We are still under caution. We anticipate a green flag this time around.
In fact, we're already back to green as they throw it not at the start-finish line because they don't want that jam up going into turn 1. And so we're back under green flag conditions, and it'll be interesting to see how this all sorts out. I'm still curious because Jason Priestley was able to get his car in before Boris said, but right now scoring is saying that the Boris said number 20 car, now taken over by Sean Hendricks, is in front of Andy Pilgrim, and then the 32 car with John Heinrichsey enlisted in 3rd.
Rob Walton, Don Knowles' machine down and out of the pits well before the field makes its way down to the start-finish line. There's car number 20. Borisset is out. Sean Hendricks is in.
I still don't figure out how that worked because they had to go off one more lap all the way around, and Jason Priestley and Andy Pilgrim pitted right away and were able to get out before the 20 car came back around.
Well, they didn't.
And there's Andy Pilgrim.
Some fairly lengthy repairs on the Jason Priestley Andy Pilgrim car. Pilgrim now behind the wheel. An 87 race finishing streak on the line here today. The car looks healthy. It appears to be running at good speed. Just a slight aerodynamic change.
Yeah, the one car that got caught out badly in this whole exchange was the 70. Nick Ham and Sylvain Tremblay. They have dropped all the way down to 9th place because of the sequence of when they made their pit stop.
In fact, Tremblay was racing around trying to catch up with the train when the green came out. So they are in real no man's land right now.
Well, this is going to be interesting because we are told that Boris said and Sean Hendricks now behind the wheel with all the traffic is the overall race leader as he was able to stay on the front pace.
Now, Hendricks trying to get around traffic, find a clear piece of racetrack, and he does.
And then when you see the 46 car, and it's going to be easy to spot Andy Pilgrim the rest of the afternoon. He's got some ground to make up, and he's got some lappers in between him as well.
Whoa, off big time.
49, that is Steve Nowicki. That was our leader in the compact division last time that we had checked in with them. And they, of course, have made their pit stop. So either I think Carl Hulcher is in the car right now. So Carl, a little off-course excursion.
This is a Honda Civic Del Sol SI making its debut in this class, and that's what happens when you get those wheels off.
Man, he almost got T-boned there. One of the Joe Aquilani American Motorsports cars.
Didn't lift until all the grass was about mowed. Meanwhile, Sean Hendricks, as the shadows continue to lengthen on the backstretch here at Daytona International Speedway, trying to hold up his end of the deal, having taken over for Boris Said.
Another beneficiary is in 3rd place right now of when the yellow came out. The number 90 of Scooter Gable and Terry Bortzler, and I think Bortzler's in the car right now. They're in 3rd place.
NASCAR Oval, taking a look at the gap once again. Back at the 2nd place car of Andy Pilgrim.
Don't see him yet.
Nowhere to be seen.
Lack of 5th gear maybe hurting him.
And on top of everything else, he has no top gear in that car. Well, he, like his teammate, will be drafting as much as possible. We'll take a break. Live action continues from the opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship. There's your top 10. A little over 36 minutes remaining in the race. Stand by for more from Daytona. Back live live at Daytona International Speedway. Sean Hendricks in the number 20 Ford Mustang Cobra leads the way in the opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship, live here on the Deuce. Coming up after our coverage of this event, NASCAR Shop Talk with Alan Bestwick, Bill Weber, and guest Steve Wade, editor of Winston Cup Scene magazine.
You know, while we're watching race leader Sean Hendricks, we should also point out the 2 Toyota Supras that were so quick in the early go. They got caught out by this yellow also, because Eric Van Cleef is now 11th place, a lap down, and Kelly Collins is 16th, and he's also a lap down. So that inability to stretch that fuel really hurt the 2 Toyotas.
For 6th coming up. Zabinski in car number 57.
21 is Steve Pepper and Chuck Snipes.
Heavy traffic. Amazing how this broad expanse of tri-oval narrows down in turn 1, and you may have all kinds of racetrack to race on until you get down there, but then you find that you've got 3 and 4 cars in close quarters.
And I think that's Ed Zabinski behind the wheel right now. And there's the 21 car.
By Hanover, New Hampshire, almost Dartmouth College. A little long on the brake pedal there, too. Yeah, 57 getting overtaken on the entry to that second infield hairpin.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's something wrong with that. Is either a sports or a touring car that just went by. Yeah, he's got a problem. He's waving everybody by him.
Definitely.
So Zabinski's got a problem in the 57 car.
Thus ends that battle. Problems begin for Ed Zabinski.
Oop, somebody off course. The 18's going to take the merry-go-round. That's Dan Lewis and Tommy Johnson. And Tommy Johnson's behind the wheel right now.
Mazda Miata in the compact.
Okay, is he going to try to kick a field goal here? Because that's race leader Sean Hendricks, and he looked like he was taking a peek at it.
Going through the uprights, you mean?
Uh-huh, there it comes.
Traffic ahead once again. This is what I'm talking about down in turn 1, and all those black streaks of rubber tell you some folks get in there just a little too quickly. Just look at our class leader, Sean Hendricks, taking over for Boris Said at the head of the train.
And a great run going on right now for the 9 car in the BMW and sports division. Jeff McMillan now behind the wheel. Joe Nonamaker in the 43, and Dave Doherty has taken over in the compact division, the number 78. That's a Nissan 200SX.
Another graduate of IMSA's Bridgestone Supercar Championship a few years back. This is for 3rd.
So Andy Pilgrim has got the 32 of Stu Hayner under his gun sights, and that is for 3rd position on the racetrack. While we were watching that other battle, Gable, that car, the number 90, managed to move up into 2nd spot.
46 car, classic example of the Mustang Cobra R, built for showroom stock racing. 20-gallon fuel cell fiberglass pieces, as we saw when the engine cover came off and shattered all over the tri-oval. Only 250 built, sold primarily to racers. In fact, sold entirely to racers. Well, not as pretty as it was when the race began, but still pretty effective in the hands of Andy Pilgrim.
The worst part about it is they can't even go out and collect the hood that came off. I mean, it's in 1,000 pieces out there.
No, they'll definitely have to go buy a new one, as Jason Priestley mentioned. Onto the backstretch, up to top speed, but once again operating without 5th gear. Remarkable job. A bulletproof car for Andy Pilgrim. Meanwhile, there's the race leader, Sean Hendricks, consolidating the lead built by Boris Said. We'll be back with more live from Daytona International Speedway after this. Back at Daytona International Speedway, we are under full course caution for the 2nd time in this opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship. We see one of the drivers in a 2-car incident in the chicane that has brought out the safety car.
And it was one of our early leaders in the compact division, the Steve Nowicki car, Hulcher car, the 49, Civic del Sol, one of the 2 cars involved, the number 49, along with the 07, we're told, of Tim Falanga and Chad Zanheiser. So I don't know exactly who was behind the wheel of the 07, but the 49 car is not going to be in competition any longer.
See the field bunching up. Sean Hendricks, first car behind the safety car to the left of your screen. Coming down the backstretch, they're approaching the scene of the accident.
The reason we can't show it to you is because the retaining wall there, they're right up against it, and it is high enough that both cars are hidden. They went into the chicane and got tangled up and are in the wall and the tire barrier, and all you can see is about the top of the wrecking crew that's over there, and the lights you can see, and that's about it, as they'll try and drag those 2 pieces out, and everybody will circulate. I doubt we'll see any more pit stops unless somebody has a problem from this point on. They don't want to give up the track position, and there you can just see the wrecker, and right down there to the lower right hand of the portion of the screen is one of the 2 vehicles that were involved.
That appears to be the second driver standing atop the berm, so both drivers out and okay. Thanks to that handy ladder to the left that allows him to hop the wall. So for the second time, the field slows down behind the pace car. We are under full course caution. No action in pit lane. We'll take a timeout and return for more. Less than 30 minutes to go in today's running of the IMSA Endurance Championship. Back still under full course caution at Daytona International Speedway. Our live coverage of the opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship. The Daytona USA 2 hours continues. Bob Varsha, Marty Reed with you. Jan Beekes and Bill Weber patrolling the pit lane. The gap from our first to the second place car in this train behind the safety car is 7. Sean Hendricks follows the safety car immediately, and then it's 7 cars back to the second place car.
And there are 11 cars on the lead lap, so that yellow really played a strategic part in this race, especially all the Toyota Supras and the Mazda RX-7 turbos.
There, without its hood, you see the number 46 machine of Andy Pilgrim, who runs in 3rd.
And Andy's going to hate when he sees the videotape on this, and he says, yeah, I can tell my car every time where.
And the rest of the field, 4 different classes: Grand Sport, Sports Touring, and Compact, all running together here.
We're trying to find the 70, first driven by Nick Ham, now Sylvain Tremblay, and that vehicle is 8th place overall, and we're still looking for it. That gives you an idea how much lap traffic is in the way. And there he is.
Earlier I mentioned the Ford Mustang that has run so dominantly here, and that Ford was built specifically, the Ford Mustang Cobra R, built specifically for this form of racing. There's actually a tradition of manufacturers coming up with special models for this sort of thing. The Camaro 1LE in 1987, the Porsche 944 S2 in 91, BMW M3 Lightweight in 1995. Let's get down to Bill Weber.
With former series champion Nick Ham, and you had a great start to this race. Timing was good. You stretched your fuel mileage. Then you were on pit road when the caution came out.
Yeah, we just got unlucky there. Everything went according to plan to start with. We pitted, got the gas mileage we needed on the first stop, and then right after it still went back out, the full course yellow came out. And what happened was the leader had just gone by us, so the pace car picked up the leader and we were behind. And they got a new rule this year where once they picked up the leader, that's the last time. There's no wave bys, so we got unlucky there. But this has helped us out a lot. We might now get back up in the top 5.
But you don't think you can catch the front runners?
Well, if he can, that's great, but I don't think so. That's an awful lot to do. You know, unless they have some problems, then maybe we can, you know. But he's capable of running some real fast times here, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
All right, good to see you. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Bill.
To Jan Beekes.
Well, Bill, the beneficiary of that whole outcome with the pace car was, of course, Boris Said. But Boris, you seemed very surprised when I told you were leading. You thought that you were farther back. Why?
Yeah, we were a little mixed up because we saw the Mazda pit just before the yellow came out, but we didn't realize we lapped him on the track, so that was a little lucky. But you know, the Steeda car is really running good. These guys built a lot of good parts to make that Mustang really fast, so you know, it just feels good to be out front. And it's good because we're going to win the first IMSA race under the new ownership of Andy Evans, and that's kind of a special thing for us. You know, it's an exciting time for road racing, and this weekend's a big weekend for IMSA, a big weekend for Daytona. There's a lot of cars here, so I think we'll go down in history to win the first race. That'd be nice.
This Isn't that awfully confident with quite a bit of time to go to say you've got this thing won? I mean, things can still go wrong. Why so confident?
Things can always go on in racing, but Sean Hendricks is a really good driver, and I think he's going to whip up on these boys pretty bad.
Anybody from behind at all that you would be at all concerned about?
Well, there's a lot of good guys. Andy Pilgrim in the other Mustang is going to be real tough, but Sean can drive a pretty wide car when he wants to, and he's got a lot of traffic between him and Andy, so I think Sean will do it. I got a lot of confidence in him.
Okay, we're getting ready to go to green, guys.
Thanks very much, Bill and Jan. We expect a green flag. Lights are out on the safety car. Once again, they'll take it on the backside. Here's a look at the top 10, all Grand Sports machines, led by the number 20 Mustang Cobra R, now piloted by Sean Hendricks. Through the top 20, you see the first incursion of the sports class cars, and further back the touring and compact machines.
And we'll take the green flag right at turn 1 of the NASCAR turn 1, we should say, and that will be coming up shortly.
Yeah, I'm not driving in this race. I'm going to look for the flag.
I guarantee you what happens is your radio guys get on there, and as soon as they see it here at start-finish line, they're yelling in your ear, green, 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 go get them.
That's worth mentioning, that they do wave the flag at the flag stand at the start-finish line as well, so that everybody in the building knows when the cars are back under green conditions. And look at him going 4 wide, battles for position. 46, Andy Pilgrim in the white car.
And John Heinrichs right in front of him. And look at the 92. Now, remember, that Supra, they are well down in the field right now. They're a lap down. So that's Kelly Collins trying to work his way back to the front.
Braking for the chicane. Championship credentials of Andy Pilgrim, who also shared in the final round of the BPR Global GT Championship in Zhuhai, China. He shared a winning car in the GT2 category.
I think the thing that's significant here, we may be seeing the reflection of not having 5th gear for Andy Pilgrim, because the Pontiac has pulled away here. It'll be interesting to see if he can reel him back in.
Going to have to stay in it, brake as late as he possibly dares. Deep in turn 1.
Well, he'll flog it through the infield because he obviously won't need a 5th gear, but it does look like that lack of 5th gear may cost them here their chance of catching back up to the front.
Straight.
There's our race leader, Sean Hendricks, 32-year-old, easily South Carolina, and that's a good place for him to live because he talks so easy. Sometimes you want to help him, he's so slow, but he's a great guy.
South Carolina. Man perhaps born to stock car racing. He does it in the sports cars.
Looking for the number 90, and right there, going by, that's the gap to 2nd place. Scooter Gable gave way to Terry Borchler, and Borchler from Phoenix, Arizona. He has got to do a lot of catching up if he's going to catch Sean Hendricks. Hendricks has so much talent, so much skill and experience. And now we're going to find out the gap back to 3rd place as they go through the bus stop chicane.
Confirming it is Terry Borchler from Phoenix, Arizona, behind the wheel.
And there's John Heinrichs. He's 3rd on the racetrack. And with these guys won here last year, and you never can count them out. You know, everybody thought they didn't have quite the horses, but there they were at race end. 2 evenly matched drivers for each other that you take very good care of the equipment. And there's the gap back to 4th place. And Andy seems to be holding station pretty well.
Pilgrim, terrific GT car driver. In fact, in addition to driving in Zhuhai, China last year, he also drove in Brasilia, Brazil. Whoa, we got somebody off. Down in 1, car number 71.
Yeah, that was David Shep. Steve Earle behind the wheel right now. was down in the 20s as far as the overall position was concerned.
Back to my point about Andy Pilgrim, who runs right behind the 71 car now. First, let's take another look.
Well, this is what happens when you see, if you get a little wide there and you get out on that loose stuff, all the marbles and the buildup, and you're too hot, you can't tuck it back in, and that's the end result.
You can see the cloud of dust the car raised as it spun. There he is. Pilgrim closing up now. Getting back to Andy. Flew 165,000 miles last year to race not only in China, but also in Brazil, Canada, England, and at Le Mans in France.
Yeah. And he says that, oh, look, sounds like we've got another accident over in the bus stop chicane. To finish up Andy's story real quickly, he says that all he ever meets for girls to date are airline attendants.
Third full course caution. Once again, it is in the chicane, and it appears that an ambulance is on the scene of this one. Let's hope the driver is all right. It is car number 99.
It's a Civic Del Sol. Alan Himes and Michael Himes, and Michael's behind the wheel right now.
There's the scene.
And again, tucked up right against the wall there, the barrier, and we can't give you an angle of what actually happened there.
Now we have a camera out at that location. However, we're having technical difficulties with it, so there's a better view.
That's the first time we've been able to see that shot, and you can see the hits that were taken.
See the problem we're having, right?
There's nothing wrong with your set. Don't bang it. It's our problem.
Now you see the car nosed. It appears to be nosed into the tires and through the tires. I wonder if it didn't come upon the scene of the previous accident that had shuffled those tire barriers around. Of course, they can only do so much good if they're hit repeatedly, and he might have found the concrete on the other side of the tires. And that will bring the field back together. First and second will be nose to tail for the restart. As the extrication continues at the scene of that accident, there is Sean Hendricks leading the way. The clock continues to run here at Daytona. Back live at Daytona, just under 13 minutes remaining in the opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship for 1997. Bob Varsha and Marty Reed, glad to have you with us. There is Sean Hendricks from South Carolina leading the way. But instead of having a great big chunk of racetrack between himself and the next car, they are bunched up behind a safety car. Take a look at our class leaders. Sean Hendricks right there in the Grand Sports Division. Jeff McMillan remains the leader in the sports class. Joe Nonamaker has been in the lead in the touring class for a while.
And I got to be honest, I don't know if they made a driver change there, but Bill Pate's got to get in that car sometime soon, if he hasn't already.
You see McMillan's car, BMW 328 SI.
And we are now told that Bill Pate is in the car, so they did make the driver change. And Dave Daugherty is still the leader in compact in the Nissan 200 SX.
There's a look at the 43 machine.
There's Bill Pate. Bill waves to everybody at home. I think he's got his hands full.
Mazda MX-6. The diversity in these classes is pretty impressive. One of just about every car you care to mention.
And there's the Nissan. They came out of the box with this car. This thing was really amazing. They went to the Nelson Ledges 24-hour race with this a couple years ago. Basically had a couple weeks to put it together and won their class by like 5 laps. I mean, it was incredible.
You see the field. People settling themselves in their cars, waiting for the green flag. Safety vehicles pulling off. But the rescue teams are still on the scene of that accident. Michael Himes is apparently out of the car in the chicane.
And the word we're getting now, Bob, is that they are on the scene and they are attending to him. We don't know the extent of any injuries. We won't speculate. We'll just keep good thoughts there and keep you posted. As you looked at Sean Hendricks there, got some information. He was trying out a sprint car in South Carolina, and he wanted to race it, but his sponsor for this series said, I don't want you doing that. I'll give you $10,000 to stay out of the car, and guess what? Sean took it.
Now, Sean is not a small fella. Sean in a sprint car must be a sight to behold.
Well, it'd be a lot tighter if it was a midget.
Now let's get back to Michael Heim's situation. Here's Jan Bikas.
Yes, I can confirm by asking the crew that it is in fact Michael Himes, and then checking in with the IMSA officials. They say that he is being tended to. They cannot give us any more definitive information on his condition other than the medics are attending to him. So we should take from that that there could be some injuries. We have no idea what the extent might be, but in fact it was Michael, and they are tending to him, guys.
Now this, of course, raises the specter of a yellow flag finish. Time beginning to run down, getting around the 10-minute mark. If we do get the green, it is going to be a very short sprint, and that once again changes the complexion of this race.
One of the things that we can point out also, they have 7 cars on the lead lap, and the new rule this year, and this is one I've got to be honest, I'm not quite caught up with. Since nobody pitted, I would have thought that they would have sent the vehicles around to pick up the leader, but right now Sean Hendricks is not the lead car. He is just back in the pack there, and we'll have to wait and see if they do a wave by.
Let's get down to Bill Weber.
And with Joe Nonamaker, who with Bill Pay co-drives the 43 car leading in the touring division, we're under caution now, but can Bill hang on for the win here?
Yeah, I think we're sitting pretty good. If you look on the track, we're 1-2 right now with Alistair is right behind him, and the car's just running fine. Gave the car to Billy. He's in happy shape. The flat spotted tire he's been whining about, but he'll get over it. We're okay.
You had a pretty good first half of the race, though.
Yeah, I got a real good start and got up behind a sports class car, and he gave me a tow for about the first 45 minutes till we got separated, and he was just dragging me around the straightaways. It was really good.
It's got to be a thrill to drive that car around the Daytona International Speedway.
Daytona is one of the most beautiful tracks and places to be, and what a place to be in January at the sunshine. The track is gorgeous, and the facilities are great. It's really been a good time for us.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you. Take care.
Well, as you could sense from the tone of that interview, these drivers are not necessarily as solicitous of one another's opinion of the car once it's handed over. Oh, my.
Should be lucky I gave you to you with 4 tires. Yeah, there's a happy guy, too. Boris said. I'm going to be interested to see what happens on the restart. This could get a little interesting as long as we get there. Yeah, look at Boris. He's still selling the clothing there.
While activities continue at the site of the accident, we'll be back with more after this timeout. Stand by for live coverage of IMSA from the World Center of Racing. Back live at Daytona International Speedway as the clock runs into the final moments of this opening round of the IMSA Endurance Championship. There's the safety car with the field still bunched behind him. There has been no wave by. The leader is not behind the safety car. Meanwhile, activity continues on Michael Himes, who crashed in the chicane, and we certainly hope all is well there.
And that's exactly why there has not been a wave by. So we were accurate in the fact that we expected one since the leader did not pit, but they will not even begin that process until they clear the accident scene. And that's a really smart move, because can you imagine these guys trying to catch back up to the pack, and they fly through there just a little bit too fast, get on some loose dirt, and they'd be right over into this accident, which is already bad enough. So another good move there. And unfortunately, I'm looking at my watch, and it may be a situation as we go from all the way back to where Sean Hendricks is like 43rd in line to the beginning of the lead pack. So even if they did a wave by, it would take them a couple of laps just to get these guys around. So we may see this one end under yellow, and that would be disappointing, but there's not much we can do about it. This would be the 6th win for Sean Hendricks and the 11th in their career for Boris Said, if they hold on to this.
About 4.5 minutes remaining in the race unofficially. And it appears that we will end under the yellow flag because the activities continue. No one pulling away from the scene of that accident to Michael Himes from Falls Church, Virginia.
And we're being told now that when Sean Hendricks comes by, he is going to get the white flag. So there will be 1 lap remaining in this race because of the time limitation. And we'll keep our eyes on the flag stand to make sure that that is indeed what happens. And it is a long way back, as we point out. It's 43 cars all the way back from the pace car to our overall race leader, Sean Hendricks.
Cars filing by. Well, Boris said, shaking hands with his crew. This race is effectively over. There comes the number 20 car of Sean Hendricks, squinting into that low North Florida sun as the sun sinks low beyond turns 1 and 2 on the oval. Flagman has the white drapeau in hand.
Drapeau?
Flag, my good man.
Are you trying to broaden my vocabulary?
White flag waves. And we remain under caution, so it may as well be the checkers. It will be after one more tour of this 3.56 mile combined oval and road course. And that will mean victory for Sean Hendricks and Boris Said. All in all, a dominating performance. Said moved quickly to the front. They have been there virtually ever since. Well, it's a pity this race will have to end under caution, but once again, I hope that Michael Himes suffered too bad an accident.
How would you like to be Terry Borchler right now? He is right behind Sean Hendricks, and he's saying, "Oh, I'm not going to get a shot at him. At least one lap. Give me one lap, guys." Of course. Now think about this. We do know there is history of certain drivers in NASCAR competition who sort of went into the pits a little too early. I don't want to say Mark Martin's name because I know Mark doesn't like to be reminded of it. But I mean, it could happen. You never know. Are we trying to build some false drama into this, Bob, at this point?
Just about to finish the infield section, then it'll be up onto the banking.
Teams, was that one guy gesturing? Do we have any champagne? Looks like he's trying to get the celebration started.
He needs to get the appropriate hat on for the traditional celebrating crew shot.
We're into NASCAR 2 now as we make our way around the track for the final time. You know, the next big question is he going to make it around in time for us to do a winner interview before we have to say goodbye?
These are the class winners as we anticipate them when they come around to take the checkered flag. Boris Said and Sean Hendricks in Grand Sports, the McMillan Lawrence machine in the sports class. Nonamaker in paint, despite any whining over the flat spotting of a tire by Mr. Nonamaker. And in the compact class, David Daugherty's team.
So it'll be a win in the manufacturer categories for Ford in Grand Sports, BMW in the sports division, Mazda in the touring, and Nissan in the compact. Is that spreading it around well enough?
And only the first race of a 10-race schedule. Races as long as 5 hours that will last throughout the summer. Certainly an example of how close the competition can be. How the laurels get spread around in IMSA endurance competition. Boris Said, waiting for the other shoe to drop, along with the checkered flag.
Well, I'm sure they would love to have raced this to the end, but they'll take this victory any way they can get it.
Into the tri-oval comes the safety car, but well back, just going up onto the oval. You see Sean Hendricks. Now tomorrow we begin our coverage of one of the great endurance races in all the world, the Rolex 24 here at Daytona. Our coverage begins on the grid at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time and then continues seamlessly into the start of the race live at 1 p.m. Eastern time here on ESPN2. We'll go all the way to 4 o'clock Eastern with 3 hours of live coverage of the exciting opening hours of the race. And then on Sunday we'll be back at 7 a.m. Eastern to take you right through the finish and meet all the winners. We'll have it all for you. 6.5 hours of live coverage on Sunday morning here on ESPN2.
Borchler's trying to get as close as he can for that win. Oh! That's true. That'd be a photo there for both those cars as the Mustang Cobra R's take first and second.
Well, if you can't win the race, at least be in the picture. Checkered flag waves. It is now official. Let's go talk with Boris Said.
Well, Boris is getting the congratulations of the crew. And Boris, you had the easy job here. You got to sit on the wall, and he got to cruise around behind the pace car. We've already talked about the race itself. What gives this Mustang an advantage here at a track like this?
Well, I think the Ford Mustang's faster than all the other cars. And these Steeda guys, they make Mustang parts for a living, and they make some pretty good parts. And Sean's a really good driver.
Now tell me, obviously you pulled out a lead. You're comfortable on this racetrack, but you're actually driving two different types of cars tomorrow in the 24 hours?
Yeah, I'm going to drive the BMW M3 for Tom Milner, and then I'm driving the new Callaway C7R for Reeves Callaway. So I've been bouncing in and out of cars all weekend, and it's going to be a good weekend. A lot of driving time.
Now, what do the manufacturers say? Obviously, you're telling us about Ford here and what they've done, but you have all different makes that you're driving. Does that cause a conflict?
Not really. I mean, mainly, first and foremost, I'm a Ford guy. I'm doing the whole Super Truck Series this year with Ernie Irvin and a Federated Auto Parts Ford. But in the spare time, they don't mind if I do some other stuff, because the more time you stay behind the wheel, the better you get. So it's going pretty good.
So this is important also from a manufacturer's standpoint, obviously for your team and with the positions we had 1-2.
Yep, it's always good to win, and yeah, right now Ford's got a good lead manufacturer. It's only the first race of the year, but I think they're going to be strong all year.
Congratulations, Boris.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks very much. We'll add our congratulations. Incidentally, just as the checkered flag flew, Michael Himes was taken from the accident scene. He will head for the infield care center, and we will update his condition when we meet you on the grid for tomorrow's Rolex 24 here at Daytona. Here's a look at our unofficial results. All Grand Sports cars through the top 10, led by the number 20 Mustang Cobra of Boris Said and Sean Hendricks.
And 7 of those cars finishing on the lead lap. And Toyota's going to have to go back to work and see if they can cure their fuel problem.
There you see 11th through 20th, including our sports class winner, the BMW 328 IS, in 16th position. The IMSA Endurance Championship continues through the summer. There you see our touring class winner back in 25th place. Tremendous mechanical diversity in this class. Congratulations to our overall winner, Boris Badenoff.
Now, Boris was good enough today, both he and Sean Hendricks, as they take the win.
I wonder who's wearing Natasha.
I'm not going to touch that one, buddy. You're on your own.
Coming up next, NASCAR Shop Talk with special guest Steve Wade, editor of Winston Cup Scene. Thank you for joining us, and we'll remind you once again, on the grid for the Rolex 24 at Daytona, coming your way at 12:30 Eastern Time here on ESPN2. For Marty Reed, Bill Weber, and Jan Bikas, I'm Bob Varsha. So long for now from Daytona Beach, Florida.